not only is it time consuming, matter of fact, clutter can be what you consume, period. How you're eating, what type of TV are you watching? It can be distracting you from your focus and your goals. Welcome back to my channel. It's still a little cold outside where I am, but it's spring nonetheless. And I am so excited because warm weather is on the way. One thing about spring comes spring cleaning and decluttering. That's what I've been working on lately because right now I am a cluttered mother. I really let my place go during a period of grief. During that time, I needed to focus on myself, and I am in a place now where I have the capacity to start getting back to my home. Physical clutter clutters my mind. Let me know in the comments if you feel the same way. Clutter affects anxiety, rest, and focus. I read a quote that stated, "Clutter is not only the mess on the floor, but anything standing between you and the life you want to live." I felt that. Clutter is time consuming. Think about every day you go to reach for deodorant, and because the closet is so cluttered, some days you might sit it on your dresser, some days you might sit it on your nightstand, some days you might sit it on your desk, some days you might leave it in the bathroom depending on how much of a rush you're in to get where you're going. Like, it can be anywhere. Instead of having a place, making sure that things that you're looking for, especially the things that you need on a daily, or the things that you routinely go to, having an assigned place for those things can really affect the flow of your day. It can really have an impact on your timing. Now you're frustrated. Let's say you don't even find what you're looking for. Let's say one day you sat a pair of earrings, one day you sat a pair of your earrings, and now you have one earring and not the other. Are you going to go out the house with one earring and just hope that people only pay attention to one side or the other and not realize that one is missing? Now it may disrupt your day, especially if it's something that you need. It could be a document that you sat somewhere. Let's say you got prepared for a court hearing, and it was certain documents that you prepared, and then you sat them somewhere. Your hearing is a month later. And then as the days went on, you started placing it in different places because you had to move this over here to get to this. And then now the day comes, or it's the night before, and you're trying to figure out where you place those documents and you can't find them. Tell me that's not going to affect your mood. It could affect anxiety depending on how important it is. It can affect your rest. It can affect your ability to focus. Not only does it affect anxiety, just worrying about certain things, or rest, but let's say you just had a long day and all you want to do is come and relax. It's going to be difficult to do that when you know you have other things to do, but you can see the mess surrounding you. You can't even rest when you need to because now you feel obligated to get up until it's complete. Atop all else you need to do, the dishes in the sink, the laundry, it is just in the feelings of inadequacy when it's incomplete. It's a running list. It can increase counterproductivity and desired results. It affects you emotionally, but physically as well. Let's say you have a desk in your room, and that desk has now just become a clutter space. So every day you come home and you sit your keys on that desk. And every time you get a piece of mail, you just sit them all on that desk. And you keep telling yourself, I'm going to go through that pile. I'm going to separate what's junk and what's not, what's important. So every day it's just piling up. So now you can't even use that desk. And then you may start doing work in your bed. Now you're doing work in your bed instead of doing work at your desk. So then when it's time for you to go to sleep, that could disrupt the flow of your rest because your brain has now assigned that place as this is the place to work. Now you're asking me to sleep. It's like you're programming your mind to do two polar opposite things, to rest and to work. You may have decided, I'm going to cancel my gym membership. I'm going to save this money every month. You have a whole den that you can do things like that. But that's also your laundry area. And every time you do the laundry, sometimes you get it done, sometimes you don't. So now in one of the chairs in that area, it's just a pile of clothes. There may be baskets on the floor. You hang clothes to dry. And so now you can't use that space for what you intended. Now you're not working the way that you wanted to because your desk isn't clear and you're not working out and taking care of your physical health and wellness. This could cause you to be late, a snowball effect. It gets to be a lot. Then that too can deter us because we will put the task off thinking it's going to take a lot longer than it may actually take. Or if we can't get it all done in one sitting, then we put it off to other tasks that may have a more instant gratification. The thing is this, rarely does it usually take as long as we think it will. And even if it does, just do a little at a time. I have learned to do that. I'm one of those people that I try to complete tasks. Having things undone really doesn't sit well with me, but I'm learning to accept that. I need to focus on the greater goal. So let's say you're strategizing your life. We are usually so focused on today and the now that we will oversight the future. I may be in this position today and now. Let's say a person's in debt. In that moment, it seems so overwhelming. But when you start to strategize and plan and do a little bit each month, when you put it on a spreadsheet and you can see that number starting to go down 1 year from now or 2 years from now, it's at 0. That helps you to put it in perspective. So I started to view things that way. I may not get this task complete today or when I want to. I had to start removing my emotions from things. Focus on the goal. Focus on what you do want. Don't focus on what it is now or what it isn't. Focus on what you want it to be. That's what I had to start doing to shift my paradigm. This is what made me make this video. Going back to that quote, it's more than just the clutter on the floor. These simple tasks will make you have a whole different perspective on life. Clutter can be what you consume, period. How you're eating, what type of TV are you watching? It can be distracting you from your focus and your goals. And you being stuck in today and the now can stop you or prevent you from working towards it. If I can't be rich today, but I can start making little investments into my life. I can start learning today. Instead of, I'm so frustrated that I don't understand this today. You know what? Let me start learning more about this today. So that maybe next year, I can be a part of that conversation. And then the year after that, I can start applying these things to my life and start investing so that in the next 5 years, I will be wealthy. Now, I don't want to delve too deep, but it's just amazing how the most seemingly insignificant things can be applied to other areas of your life and really shift your perspective and to think and to realize how important it is. I'm also a spiritual person, and I believe that if I'm not taking care of what I have today now, even if we had like this manifestation mentality, I want to be wealthy, I want to have this luxurious house. If you aren't taking care of your space now, your 1-bedroom apartment is a mess. How are you going to maintain a whole mansion? How are you showing appreciation for what you have now so that you can accept and receive and welcome more? Cleanliness is next to godliness. So coming back to my place, I realized the importance of it. I realized that it's okay if I only get the closet done today. The closet is done now. And now I can go on to this area of the room. And every day that I focus on a different area. And the thing is, once you get it to where you want it, keep it there. Once I clear that closet, I shouldn't be having it a mess anytime soon. I maintain that as I go to the other areas and maintain those areas as well. And then when I have time, then I can focus on another area that needs to be taken care of. And then maintaining that area. Until your whole home is clear, clutter-free, clean. Let's say you're not as dramatic as me. Just shifting your focus, period. Whatever that entails for you. Maybe that means putting on some good music instead of trying to do it in silence, or listening to an ebook or something that you enjoy. Coupling that task with something that you enjoy will help you get through it. And the thing about doing this to an ebook or a lecture is that now you're multitasking. That lecture, that you look at the timestamp and you like, this is 2 hours. I don't have 2 hours. You do have 2 hours, because you can clean your room in 2 hours and listen to that lecture or that ebook. And now you're doing two things that you can check off of your to-do list. Another way that you can shift that train of thought to where, why do this, or I'm putting this off because it's going to be too time consuming, do it and time yourself and see how long it takes. That way you have a realistic expectation. It took me 2 hours to clean my entire bedroom, to clean and declutter my entire bedroom. So I know I need to set aside a certain time to just go through and declutter this area. And this is how long I can expect it to take. But keep in mind, it's okay if you go over that and if you find yourself under that time, which would show you that it doesn't take as long as you think. Give yourself time. Now, you should pace yourself. You don't want to be taking too many breaks. Take a break within reason, but don't get to the point where you're procrastinating. Oh, let me go wash the dishes. Oh, let me go and you're telling yourself that you're doing something else that you need to do, but realistically, you're still putting off what you said you were going to do. Make sure you stay on task. Prioritize your tasks. That way, you don't find yourself all over the place. You're focusing on what's more important first, and then you're coming down the list as you go. Timing help you to have a realistic measure of what you can expect as far as being a time frame to get it done. It helps you to allocate the time to do it. Let's say you got half of your room done in 2 hours in one day. Now I know it should take me about 2 hours to finish the rest of the room when I have more free time. It just helps you schedule it. And if it takes too long, then that should put you in the headspace to prevent it from reoccurring, because this took 4 hours out of my day just to clean one room. So now I'm going to stop putting the mail down. I'm going to sort through it that day and dispose of the junk, and then put the important mail in a specific place it should go. The point is to get to a place where you are minimizing it to begin with and getting rid of the stuff. I'm talking to me. I get one little thing done and I'm ready to go sit and relax. Like, I just have this luxury mindset. I am blessed. I am truly blessed and I am grateful. But I have this just sit by the poolside mentality. I'm working on that though. I'm working on, when I do have things to do, get them done and maintain that so that I can do what I enjoy. So I went through my entire place and I assessed each room. What do I want to keep? What can go? And how do I want it to look as it is? Once I have an idea, then I start to plan. Once you've decluttered your area, or as you're decluttering your area, then you can start to assess how you want to rid them. You can give some things to Goodwill. You can give some things to people that you know, or the thrift store, because a lot of people be wanting some nice pieces. Okay, people really be out here thrifting and finding some cute stuff. So you can always bring it to the thrift store. You can bring things to work, and you don't always have to ask a person, do they want this? You can maybe sit it in the bathroom, or you can sit it in like a open area. Now, I'm not saying bring a lot of clutter. I'm just saying magazines or something like that. You can bring it to the community area at your job and sit them out. If there's a reception area where you may receive guests, they can look through the magazines while they're waiting on the person who the client is there for. But I had this circular device and it has USB ports all around it. And one of my colleagues had mentioned it that I was able to give. I hadn't used that thing in years. And I kept telling myself I'm going to keep this because I might need it when I'm sitting at my desk and I need to plug it. And it went on for years. Sometimes we hold on to things under this false pretense that we're going to use it eventually. Sometimes it even does come a time years later where you finally have a need for it and you've already gotten rid of it. But it's like, I'm not upset. It's okay. You will have to do your own personal and individual assessments on the value of what you're talking about. Some things you can sell. I have used Mercari. I've also used local stores that you can go to that will buy gently used. I've brought clothes to Pluto's Closet and Uptown Cheapskate. There have been things that I purchased online. I get it. It doesn't quite fit the way that I'd like. And so I haven't worn it. I haven't really used it at all other than trying it on. So it's still in good condition. We all know trying to ship back to whoever you bought it from online can be a hassle. Sometimes it's easier to just go ahead and sell it than trying to do an exchange. Sometimes it's just too much. Like, you might exchange it for something else and then you get that and that doesn't fit either. So, or store credit. And the reason I like Mercari is because you can sell more than just clothes. In cleaning and decluttering, I decided that I wanted to rearrange my bedrooms. The functionality of how you may have things set up isn't really not as productive or as fluid as you would like it to flow. And so you can rearrange things. This woman decided to put baskets in every room because her husband would just drop his clothes. He would sit on the couch and he'd just take his socks off and leave them in that area. That's something that you can assess and rearrange as you see fit. So for me, I decided that I wanted to rearrange my bedroom, not only for functionality, but I feel like it has this energetic clutter. The way that my bedroom is laid out is that there's a couch, then there was the bed, the desk. Okay, so does that make sense? Okay, so when you walk into the bedroom, the couch would be directly in front. The desk was between the bed and the couch. So I wasn't motivated to go there, but I've decided to bring it out of that corner. Work is already like, who wants to work? The objective is to create a better flow. Sometimes I would work in the dining area because it was out, it was in the open, and I was accessible to my family. But there are times where I need or would like seclusion, an area where you can have some more quiet and to just have another option. Rearranging is also nice because you get to add a new feel to a space without having to buy anything at all. So once you have a plan, then it's time to execute. What I like to do is start by removing the items from the space that I'm working in. That way I have a clean slate. Then I begin to clean that area. And once you have finished, as you break as well, reward yourself. And I don't mean everything that you plan to do. I mean when you're finished for the day. Doing that as you go will encourage you to persist. Pairing a task that you didn't want to do with something that you enjoy. Sometimes the reward is in itself. You know how when you clean and at the end when you are finished, you light that candle? It gives that same feeling. Remember to spare yourself lots of grace. Take each day one at a time. You are being productive. You are working towards a goal. While it may not be what you want it to be right now, it has potential to be what you desire so long as you continue to be productive and working towards it as often as you can. And that is worth celebrating each time that you do. If you like this video or found it helpful in some way, make sure you give me a thumbs up. Let me know what you think in the comments. Subscribe for more videos. And sharing is caring. I look forward to seeing you again in the next one.